This is Miss Lizzie, and I want to welcome you to the Queen Lizzie podcast. Together, we will go through the history of Rosewood, Florida, and watch as the once prosperous town rises out of the bloodshed, fire, and ash to reveal the people, the memory, and the legacy of Rosewood. Watch every Thursday on Facebook and YouTube, or listen to our story on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Hello, everybody. I am Lizzie Robinson Brown Jenkins, representing not only the Rosewood Foundation, but the personal testimonies and history of cherished friends and family. You are now watching the Queen Lizzie podcast. Today, we're talking with Gussie Boatwright. Welcome, Miss Gussie.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure and an honor to invite you here.
Thank you.
Yes, and we have been knowing each other for a few years.
A lot of years.
A lot of years. I didn't want to say that it may, sound old, but a lot of years. She is, I'll let you tell her, she will tell you later where she's from. But first, I want to let you all know that today's show is very special. And what I'm going to talk about, or what we are going to talk about, is special in my heart. And it's something that we have done, I have been doing for the past 60 years, and that is voting. So today's show, I am dedicating it to Kamala Harris, who is running for president of this United States of America. And I'm so honored and I'm so proud. And we are going to talk about what we need to do as a team to vote and get the vote out and encourage people to vote. Gussie, you may share with us who you are, or tell us anything you want us to know about you.
Absolutely. It is my honor to be here today representing Williston.
Yes.
I'm from Levy County, fifth generation.
Yes.
So it's just my honor to be here. This is such an exciting time for African American women, but for women all over the world.
Yes.
Because many of our foreign countries have had the experience of having a woman as a leader. We think about England and Britain and the folks over there. They've had women leaders before. We've not had one here.
Yes.
So this is a really good opportunity for women rights. And I'm thinking it may also, Miss Lizzie, be that motivator that our community needs to get out to vote.
I think so. I agree with you, especially the young
women,
the
young people.
Women.
Yes.
She is going to rock the house.
She stands for women health issues,
yes.
right?
Yes.
She stands for so many of those things that are so near and dear to our heart. So I am absolutely on board with supporting her, and the fact that she's already raised 46 point some million or whatever.
49 I heard this morning.
Yes.
49.5
so that
million
means,
in 24 hours.
Yeah. Now that means there are a lot of other people out there supporting her as well.
Exactly, because I haven't made my donation yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the small donations that count.
If you remember, President Obama ran on what $20 donations.
Yes.
He was asking everybody for $20 donation and was able to do. So I'm excited about what we can do to support her.
Exactly. And last night I was on a Zoom. There were like 40,000.
I heard about that.
You heard about it?
Yes, ma'am.
I was on it. This is the third time they met before she was nominated.
Mm-hmm.
We started meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And awesome. Oh my God. It is time for us to make a change. And like you said, women, we are the leaders.
We are.
Okay, it's not about greed when we lead. Okay, it's about people, caring about people, including the immigrants. People have so much negative stuff, negative information about immigrants. Aren't they all
We're all
immigrants?
immigrants.
Not us.
Well,
We were enslaved.
we were
forced.
forced to come. That makes a difference.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Yes.
So stop talking against them and let's work together.
You
And-
know, I think women also brings the compassionate component that men tend to not have. You know, we're nurturers. We
Yes.
nurture our children, and
Yes.
we do the things that men don't have time to do
Exactly.
with families, and I think that's what she's going to do for our nation.
I agree. I agree because when men are involved, sorry men, but I mean it.
Yeah.
It's all about them.
That can be the case.
Uh-huh. Now it's going to be about America
Mm-hmm.
and the women and like you say, health issues and democracy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because we have got to maintain our democracy, respect for each other, and we're losing it.
You know, we cannot afford to have men tell us how to live,
Our private
to help make those private decisions for us.
decisions.
So I think she's going to really push that needle forward. I've gotten so many phone calls in the
Yes.
last few hours and days about Vice President Harris and what I think she can do. I think she can do all things if she has the strength and keeps her focus.
Right?
Hmm.
And the women are going to be there.
They're going to be
for
there.
her.
You know, I can't wait, Miss Lizzie, for her to debate.
Oh my God. The
As
prosecutor.
a prosecutor?
and they are calling him, well, we know what they're saying about him. Yeah.
I
The
can't wait.
executor.
That's going to be, you know, we're
Yes.
going to pay money to see that, right?
Yes.
We'll fly to be there for
Yes.
that because
Yes.
that's going to be exciting. You can't whip her with words.
No,
No,
she's sharp.
yes.
A genius.
Yes, she's very smart,
And
very intelligent.
Very intelligent, and
Mm-hmm.
she is going to take care of business, and we are going to be there smiling.
Yes,
because-
yes. I've had some conversations this morning with some folks, and we're trying to figure out in our minds how does she attract or how does she select that running mate?
Yes.
That's going to be important.
Yes. Yes.
That she,
Yes.
brings somebody on board
Yes.
who is going to be not only supportive but can bring in those other people who maybe lean into the
Other side.
other side,
Right.
because there are so many people out there who decide they weren't voting for President Biden because he was too old. They're
Right.
not voting for the other candidate because he's a convicted felon and they don't like,
Right.
what he stands for.
Right.
So there are some people out who are just in the middle,
Right.
and she may be that catalyst that brings people together.
I believe she will be. Yes, because she is equipped. She does it all. Okay, she's very, very educated.
One of the things that I've heard too is that, well, she's been fairly quiet the last few years. She hasn't been very vocal, but a supportive subordinate is sitting back learning
Yes.
and gathering information and supporting from the background, preparing yourself to move forward if you have to. And I think because she has prepared herself to move
Yes.
forward, that she's in a good place with knowledge and skills to do that.
Exactly. And we're here to help her.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote yesterday, what did I write? Oh, I made a commercial. Okay. It's just testing the waters. And this is what gave me the idea. Liz, you're going to have Gussie on, and she is very, very equipped in getting the vote out and doing what she needs to do in Levy County. Why don't you talk about Kamala Harris? Did I say that? And I woke up this morning, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I think I'm still going to do my commercial, like a one-on-one commercial for her, about her, and put it out there.
Absolutely.
She probably doesn't need it, but people I know in Archer will benefit.
People will need it.
Oh, okay.
Your constituents, the people that follow you,
Okay.
need to know where you stand sometimes.
Exactly.
And so that's why we have to be very careful with the people that we endorse, the signs we put in our yard.
Yes.
Because I've learned a lesson recently. You just have to be very careful
You have to.
But once you make that commitment,
Yes.
you got to see it through.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I think we're ready to commit to Kamala,
Yes, we are.
and we'd like to see her take that oath of office
Exactly.
in January.
Change agent.
Hmm.
It's time for change.
Yes, ma'am.
It's time for change. And the one thing that really, really bothers me, and you too, you grew up in the Jim Crow days, is the hate. I remember the hate growing up. I still feel it today, just because
Just because.
she is going to make a difference.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's going to reach out to everybody.
You know, some people talk about change,
Mhm.
but change is painful sometimes.
Yes, it is.
We don't experience growth
Yes,
without some pain,
exactly.
okay? And sometimes that pain, it endures for the night,
Yes.
but joy comes
Joy
in the
comes in the
morning.
morning.
But that sometimes those nights are long, long,
Yes.
long, and unforgiving.
Yes, and you know what? It still pains me.
Yeah.
I never wanted to do the research for Rosewood, but my mom said, you got to. You got to keep the history alive. I told my mom years ago, over 40 years ago, I said, Mom, it's too painful. I will not have a life. And she said to me, if Mom was younger, Mom would do it.
Mm-hmm.
It meant that much to her.
Mhm.
So, Gussie, Miss Gussie, after I have started doing this, it's still painful, but so many people appreciate it.
Hmm. Well, you know, honestly, I live 45 minutes from Rosewood.
Mm.
Never knew about the Rosewood incident.
Are you serious?
My grandmother, my family, my seniors never talked about it. The
Mhm.
first time I heard Rosewood was when I guess I don't know, was it you or the movie or something, and I was amazed to discover this happened 45 minutes from my house.
Yes.
And then I began to hear other stories
Mhm.
about situations like there was a tree
Mhm.
not too far from our property, across the field from our property, where my grandmother said a young man was lynched as a child that she didn't witness, but when they got there it was too late. So I started hearing all these other stories, but
Yes.
only after Rosewood came out.
Right.
And then last summer, I had the opportunity to escort some young men, or to accompany some young men, up to Montgomery, Birmingham,
Yes, yes.
to EGI, is it?
EJI.
EJI.
Yes, museum.
What an awesome experience that was, Miss
Yes.
Lizzie. And I think I may have called you from there because they had some soil.
Yes.
I called you and said,
Yes.
I didn't know that there were some lynchings
Lynching.
in Rosewood.
Yes, and they were hanging, and you were looking at them. You were so excited. Well,
Not excited, but
sadly excited to know that.
God, I
Yes.
didn't know that. And that was
Yes,
just
and to share.
a year ago
Yes.
that I saw the dirt. And, and right now we are raising funds to take a group of 10 kids
Really.
at the end of the month. I want them to see that. I want them to experience what I experienced at that museum.
You still feel it, don't you?
Yeah.
The pain is still
Yeah.
there.
But you know what it also did for me, Miss Leslie, is that it encouraged me to come back to my community and work a little bit harder. And I think everybody, and I don't know if you know Albert Fuller. Do you know?
I know Albert Fuller.
Well, he and I talked about how energizing that would be for people to actually go up there
Yes.
and go through that museum and feel the waves on the boat and to see our history posted in this.
Yes.
We need to do that.
We need to. You will be able to internalize it, and you can feel the energy.
You can feel
even
it.
when you
Oh
go
my
to
God.
Rosewood.
Oh my God.
A young man called me and said, "Hey, I would like to go to Rosewood." I said, "It's nothing there." He said, "I just want to feel the energy, Mrs. Jenkins. Will you?" I said, "I'll meet you there." And I've done that for so many
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is some energy there.
It is. It is. All right. It's about time for our first half. We are going to head to a quick break, and we'll be right back after a few words from our sponsors.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, two things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
I am Black History.
I am Rosewood Black History.
I am Florida and America's Black History.
and you are too.
January 1st, 1923, the KKK insurrectionists attacked Rosewood, killing 5, burning it down.
Because a white woman lied and cried, a black man assaulted me. Rosewood redevelopment is on its way.
Want to help? Visit rosewoodflorida.com.
Welcome back to Queen Lizzie Podcast, brought to you weekly from the Steve Spurrier Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We are here with Gussie Boatwright. The Queen Lizzie Podcast is brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union, live from the Meldon Law Gator Studios at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Special thanks to Greg Bradley, Allstate Insurance. And speaking of Greg Bradley is the owner of Mirror Image Academy. And as we speak, they left yesterday, taking the ninth graders of, I think it was 12 ninth graders to Africa, to Ghana.
I heard about that.
They are an
That's
awesome group.
That's awesome.
And they have been out to the farm twice, and I have talked to them about Rosewood. So they are doing what they need to do, keeping the history alive.
That's awesome.
And it's awesome for them to go back. They took 8th graders, I believe, last year, but yesterday they left taking.
Think about the impact of that trip on those kids' lives. They will never forget that.
They will never.
Never forget. So when you mention Africa, you mention motherland, the homeland, Ghana, they're going to say, I was there. I had the
Yes.
experience.
Yes.
You know, and when they talk about the vibrancy of the trees and the land and the people, they're gonna be able to tell a story from a personal perspective, not
Exactly.
just from what they read or they saw in the movies, but what they experienced, and that is always so important.
Always, and many of these boys are from single parent homes. They need this. And they have made so much progress. I think it's a 3-year program. They have been doing this for 3 years. They have made so much progress, and they have had so much experience, and the community helps out. Oh, this is just awesome. Yeah, I thought about that. Greg Bradley and his father, we were classmates, but that's not important. But anyway, things of sort are important. Helping our kids in our community. Getting them registered to vote. My mom said you must register. People died, because they were not allowed to vote. And Kamala Harris is going to help us resolve this program too, because I'm tired of them talking about voting and we're not eligible. It's time for us to move forward.
You know, on a personal level, we have to ensure that everybody in our family, everybody, all of our friends, everybody that we know is registered to vote. That is our personal commitment to being a good citizen. Everybody you know, you need to lead them by the hand. Take them to the supervisor of elections office.
Yes.
Or go online. There's a process online, but
Yes.
it needs to happen.
It does. It does. And my mom taught all of her grandkids and great-grandkids to vote. It's important that you vote. Today, they are still voting. They are grown. They were little kids. They are voting, and when it's election time, they call, Auntie, who should? I said, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. Just vote.
Just it's your voice.
It's your
Your vote
voice.
is your voice.
But
Absolutely.
they still ask.
Sure.
I don't know anybody. I say, read. I don't have time to read about them. So, I'm rather than allow them not to. See how smart you are? You finished my sentence. I'm going to
Yes.
do a little cheating and help them because it's important.
It is important. But I think the other thing, Mr. Lizzie, is when you're asked for your advice,
Yes.
then it's okay to tell them.
I like that.
Yeah. So if somebody calls and says, who are you supporting for
Yes.
school board and why? I'm okay with that.
Yes.
Because you called and you asked me. I didn't call to
Exactly.
tell you, and I think there's a difference there
It is.
because again, people trust the position that you're in,
Yes.
and if they do, they'll reach out to you for help. That's why I've learned a lesson, and I'm very cautious about supporting because I don't
Yes.
want people making decisions and then Miss Gussie told me to vote for him.
Yes,
You know,
yes, yes.
that kind of thing. So
Yes.
I want to
yes.
be careful about that.
Yes, and they're never sure about the amendments. What does this mean?
Nobody
Okay.
is.
I know.
It takes attorneys wrote those things, and it takes an attorney to decipher them. It's
Because
crazy.
it is, and you can read it. It means yes or no or both. Okay, because they're confused, and that's their intent.
You know what? This is not a good strategy, but I vote no for everything.
Okay,
I used
that's
to.
the best.
No, because I don't
Uh-huh.
understand. So
you don't understand.
I just it
no,
just
no, all the
no,
way.
no.
Did you all hear? No, when you don't understand.
When you don't understand. I mean,
Okay.
and they're not written for you to understand.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
But if you've got a great DEC or party affiliation that you can trust, they will usually provide you with the little
Slate
snippet,
card.
a slate
Yeah,
card
yes.
that tells you what they are, and that's a
Exactly.
good way to make an intelligent decision versus just me telling you to say no. You really
Exactly.
because your vote counts.
Right.
And
right.
we don't want to say no to something that may impact us or our
Exactly.
families. And just because it doesn't impact us today doesn't mean it's not going to impact my granddaughter or my grandson in the years to come.
Exactly.
So the decisions we make now
Mm-hmm.
can have some generational impact.
That's true. That is very true.
Mhm.
And we know that August 20th is primary time. Okay, so please vote.
Please,
Please vote.
please.
And general is
November
5th.
5th or 6th, yeah.
5th.
Whatever. Just
Yes.
get your
Get out there
self
and
to the polls.
vote, y'all. Vote, 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 vote.
And it's okay to request a vote by mail ballot.
Yes.
Get that vote by mail ballot just in case something happens and you can't get to the poll. Your
Exactly.
vote will, and there's a way to track it online. You can
Exactly.
track your ballot. So,
Yes.
I want to vote in person. Well, the very day you wait to the last minute, and then the car won't start, or something other silliness comes on.
Exactly.
And you
Someone
can't.
stole the car.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you can't get to the poll. You're stuck in traffic somewhere. So let's
That's
vote
a
by
good
mail.
idea.
Vote by mail is not a bad thing to do because now you can actually track your ballot.
Exactly. I vote by mail, and I work at the precinct. I
do too.
volunteer. But I don't have to waste my time going in, standing
Right,
in line.
right.
I'm already ready to work on the outside.
I volunteered since I retired 7 years
Yes.
ago, and I always get in trouble because I want to talk.
I do too. I love talking to people, and they don't want you too close.
I know.
But
know,
everybody knows us.
Right. So it's funny
That's-
because I haven't seen that person in 10 years, or since the last time, and it's like old classmates and stuff, and
Yes.
we're up hugging, and I'm getting the stink eye from the clerk over there, and I'm like,
And love. Yes, indeed. So yes, please vote. That is so
voting, yes.
so
But
important.
as Miss Lizzie says, so many people lost their lives so that we could have this right to vote. And
Yes.
it's not something that we should take lightly. It is your God-given right as a citizen of this country. And while some folks want to make it difficult, it shouldn't be a difficult process. Take your ID, go to the supervisor of elections office, get yourself registered. Get your children, get your nieces, your nephews, mama and grandpa and Pooh Bear and everybody else,
Exactly.
and march them down there.
And you can register as young as 17, I believe, but you can't vote until 18.
Yes,
Am I right?
That's true. You can do some pre-registration. Yes,
Yes,
you
yes.
can. I'm not sure what the age is, but yes, you can.
Check it out. The number here in Gainesville is 352-374-5600. 5252. Call in. That's your duty. That's your assignment. You owe it to your ancestors
Absolutely.
that suffered the agony of defeat and were not allowed to vote. However, my grandfather, I like to tell people, my grandfather voted in 1890. However, men were allowed to vote starting in he voted 1890. I don't know if I said that or not, but they were eligible to vote in 1870. And he was a die-hard voter, so that's where he handed that down, instilled in his children, and mom instilled in us. Voting is important. And I think that's where Kamala Harris is going to make a difference. The younger people are going to respect her, and they are going to follow her because she is going to have so many other people following and supporting her. And I like their attitude, working together.
Yeah. She also brings something else to the table. She is Indian, African American.
Yes.
She's all mixed up.
Yes.
And so she represents. It doesn't matter where you came from, what your background is, what your ancestry is. You can make it in America
You can.
if you put that foot forward.
Yes.
You study. You stay out of trouble. You do all the right things. You can make it. It doesn't
You can
matter
make
what
it.
your roots are.
It's exactly.
So
Exactly. And I think we have done extremely well because look where we came from and where we are going. And I'm so proud of the women that I see on television, the leaders in them, black and white women.
Absolutely.
And minorities. They are making a difference.
they are. And
They
and
are.
it's how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So it may be small steps, but we're still moving in an upward direction. And I
Exactly.
think that's important.
Right.
Change doesn't come overnight.
Exactly. Change comes in the morning.
Yes.
Okay. What it says, breaking every chain.
Breaking every chain.
All right, I love
Yes,
that song.
yes.
And that's what we've got to do, break every chain, okay? And we are coming to an end, and as I said, you need to subscribe, not need to, but please subscribe on our podcast at Queen Lizzie Podcast. This show will air Thursday at 2 p.m. I will remind you on my Facebook. My Facebook is Lizzie Robinson Jenkins. Go there, check us out, or go to the website, rosewoodflorida.com. That's FLORIDA.com. Leave a donation. We are building a museum that I didn't talk about today. I got so involved in voting, which is really important too. But make a donation, visit us. Next year or 2026, we will have built a Rosewood Museum in Archer. For me, no. For you, yes. For the next generation, you all got to keep this history alive and work at this museum, okay? And help us spread the good news. And also, I want to give Steve Spurrier a special shout out because they are celebrating their third Steve Spurrier Gridiron Grill anniversary on August 12th. So get your ticket. They are $60 and you can afford it. I'm celebrating my birthday October 23rd in the Visor rooftop here at Steve Spurrier. The tickets are $50. Get your ticket. You are going to have fun because we have got to build this museum, and it's going to take funding, money, donations to help us build it. Okay? Thank you very much. I think I have said everything I need to say. Okay. All right. I am continuously humble, honored, and blessed to meet people daily and invite them to join in peace building, healing, and reconciliation through learning about the history of Rosewood. That will wrap up today's episode. I am Queen Lizzie. Until next time, this is my Rosewood story, and I'm sticking to it. Goodbye.